7,000 years ago, the Maya inhabited the fertile lands along the Belize Old River. Archaeologists have unearthed artifacts and animal remains from the south of San Ignacio along the Macal River to Ladyville in the Belize district that gives scientific credence to this statement. The Mayan civilization populated Mexico and most of Central America during this period until its decline began around 900 AD. The arrival of the Spanish missionaries in 1580 and the British Baymen in the 1700s cemented the disappearance of the Maya from along the Belize River, according to an article penned by Dr. Jaime Awe. Today, it's the Creole people who mostly populate the banks of the Belize River, and history shows that Belize City became the only township along the mouth of the Belize River in 1839. Also, the names of many villages along the Belize River today reflect its Creole heritage like Young Gal, More Tomorrow, Never Delay, Mariduman Point, Wari Head, Tea Kettle, Bacon Pot, and Spanish Lookout. Meanwhile, the first successful trip from Belize City to San Ignacio by boat was made by the Cayo boat, the Clarence Mengel, in 1905. 108 years later, the first La Ruta Maya Challenge race was presented along this very same route in 1998. During the 16th edition of this incredible sporting spectacle, which got off on the 8th March 2013, we caught up with a founding member and co-chair, Roberto Harrison.
From the beginning in 1998, when in 98, in January that was, we sat at the San Ignacio Resort over a couple of Belekin bears, and we thought that we wanted to have something for that weekend, Baron Bliss weekend. We wanted to be water kind of thing, and lo and behold, we said, well, let's try for 9th of March to run a 4-day canoe race from San Ignacio to Belize City. So hence the idea came up, and we worked on it very fast, and we managed to have 30 teams registering for that first event. As you will know, we have grown the race from 30. We peaked at about, in 2009, in 105 teams, and we're now down to just about where we think we have managed it very well. This year we had 64 teams registering. We think that 70, 75 is the ideal for us. Not to say that we don't want to grow the race, but we manage with that kind of
number.
With that number.
Why La Ruta Maya?
Well, the La Ruta Maya name came about based on that this river is also used by the Mayas in their civilization to move between what their communities were along this river to Petén and beyond. So we thought that the name La Ruta Maya was significant in that sense.
And why this humongous success?
Well, I think one, because it's community based, it's the social aspect of it. It was also taken into account. We want to bring or create awareness more of the Belize River Valley or the Belize River, sorry, and the communities that created this river in its chicle mahogany trade.
And how do you involve the community that lives along the riverbank today?
Well, obviously that is done during the 4 days of the race. It's an opportunity for them to highlight their villages, an opportunity for them to create a small business for them during the days that the race is passing. So the village becomes very much involved in the preparation of the fans, the paddlers that pass through the villages.
And of course the excitement. However, before that excitement, we take you to the night of Thursday 7th inside San Ignacio for the official opening ceremonies for this race. Culture Night presents the opportunity for various artists to display their talents, and you're looking at a Mayan dance featuring 2 males, one in the role of a jaguar, the other as a parrot with female attendants giving a tribute to the Maya gods. Of course, registration for all participants in the canoe race is also completed at this particular presentation. The sign on the famous Hawksworth Bridge where the race begins proudly announces its new sponsor, Belekin Beer, as the race is about to blast off on Friday morning. It's a fitting match because Belekin is a Mayan word that translates into road to the east. Under the Hawksworth Bridge, we find 63 vessels awaiting the start of a 4-stage paddling race that will cover 170 miles from San Ignacio to the finish line at Belekin Bridge inside Belize City. At the sound of the horn, the Macal River erupts with a tremendous burst of energy from 189 paddlers in 63 canoes, each with its cargo of 3 living souls trying to power their way to the early lead. It's no surprise then that the male class, the elite of the event, executes the perfect start to grab the early lead. Former champion Zip Rider, the defending 8-time champion Belize Bank Bulldogs, West Track and the Niche team are all part of the lead group seconds into the action. For some, the start is less than perfect. In the excitement, some lose their heads while others lose their balance. Either way, all 4 are subjected to an early morning dip in the Macal for a jolt of reality. Nevertheless, the human spirit prevails. They disregard the discomfort, climb back aboard, and continue the journey. Unfortunately, this crew here needs another dip before they do get it right, and it brings a chuckle to the faces of this family. The hundreds of fans at the start have felt the excitement, especially those with family ties and team associations. At Spanish Lookout, Belize Bank is the lead canoe with West Track in pursuit. The paddlers at this time find themselves in a service area and take on necessary supplies like food, water, and other nutritious substances. Niche shows great improvement as they take command at 3rd place. Guess what? Nations of the intramural class are challenging the big boys as they pass the Spanish Lookout Bridge in 6th place. The question is, what has happened to Zip Rider? As expected, Belize Bank wins the 49-mile opening stage, and they did it in 5 hours, 16 minutes, 29 seconds. Hot on their heels in a surprising turn of events are BTL Cubs Arms, just 5 seconds off the pace. Behind them is Zip Rider, 8 seconds behind the bank. Niche paddling at 4th place in 2 minutes, 24 seconds behind the leaders, with only 2 paddlers inside the canoe. If you abandon your vessel for whatever reason, you simply can't return for the rest of that stage. In the meantime, it was absolutely necessary to answer the question caused by the former champion's poor showing in the first leg when Isani Cayetano spoke to Jerry Rayburn, captain of Zip Rider.
Well, it was a rough year this year for me because I got 2 new guys. I had to, get them up to standard for me, to my paddling expectation, and the guys came out pretty good. The guys did the best they could, and like I said earlier, if the foot race didn't break, that was going to be as soon as that break, I know these guys are going to come back because I had a well over 2 minutes on these guys, and then that happened.
So you guys had a spillage on the water?
We didn't have a spill. We just have a brace. One of the braces that your foot set on break. That's when Belize Bank and Cubs Arm caught up because we didn't have the strength. Like I said, we had the power to go, but we didn't have the canoe wasn't there. So tomorrow is going to be a different day. We're going to try to do something different tomorrow.
For certain, Jerry Rayburn knows that at this level of competition, 5 seconds is like a lifetime. Oceana Wave Makers is undoubtedly the overwhelming favorite in the Masters class with its finish clocked at 5 hours, 28 minutes. It's 26 minutes ahead of Sea Sports, What a Thing. In the mixed category, the Coast Guardian lives up to its top billing by recording a time of 5 hours, 33 minutes, 14 seconds to boast almost a full 12-minute lead over Lost and Found. Armin Lopez, captain of the front-running Belize Bank, gave us this perspective going into stage 2.
If God permit, tomorrow we went for the for the win again at the stage, you know, as much as we could win. But if we can't, well, we just carry it to the tape if God permit tomorrow.
This brings us to day 2 and the camp has already stirred. Food is atop the agenda for the paddlers if they are to ready themselves for the longest stage in La Ruta Maya. It's 60 miles from Banana Bank to Doublehead Cabbage, and to paddle that long certainly demands rest and nutrition. The next priority is equipment, and Zip Rider has repaired the broken foot brace that led to their demise. The UB teams, UB Lady Jaguars in the female class and the UB Black Jaguars in the intramural category, transport their canoes by pickup truck, while the Belize Bank gets that job done the old-fashioned way as Armando Lopez gets help from an assistant to carry the canoe to the riverbank. His teammate, who usually shies away from the camera, gave this important piece of information to Channel 5.
Well, they got Nitch, they got BDL, they got Zip Riders and West Track there. Those guys train with us for the last 4 months, so I think they're a competition.
Today, only 61 vessels are lined up at the start, and it's something like a miracle that there's no casualties to report from the heavy traffic. Maybe after some 6 hours in the water for most and 7 or 8 hours for some, all have become one with their equipment. Moody then travels to Moore tomorrow to view the race as it makes its way to Bermudian Landing, where he meets village chairman Michael Myvick.
The 16th annual La Ruta Maya canoe race is happening right now, and it normally passes through Moore tomorrow. Tell us about the benefits that it has to the village.
Well, to me, the only benefit we have is like by selling Lee food and Lee drinks, you know, and maybe charge a Lee fee for pass through, because I mean to say the race normally not stop in a full village. I just want to pass through a few hours and it gone again.
Moore tomorrow is also a supply stop en route to Doublehead Cabbage. Again, Belize Bank is the lead canoe, followed by Nitch, and following close behind are Zip Rider and West Track. By the time we arrive at the finish line inside Doublehead, we're greeted by the solitary picture of Nitch, who have turned the tables on the mighty Belize Bank, winning the second leg in a time of 5:45.40, which is a minute 43 seconds ahead of the Belize Bank. West Track also steps up to take second place in 5:45.59, 55 seconds behind the leader. Nitch increases the tension among the fans. Belize Bank follows him for third place with a time of 5:47.23. 35 seconds later, Zip Rider pulls up for fourth place, while Cobb's Arms rounds out the top 5 with a time of 5 hours 49 minutes 55 seconds. Efrain Cruz, the Nitch captain, gave us the details of the 60-mile stage win.
From this morning, I talked to my friends and my partners, and I said that well, you haven't the sprint on the line, but we're going to try to win the stage. But these guys from Belize Bank and Zip Riders, they're flipping big falls. You know, yesterday was our turn to flip. Only that yesterday Belize Bank helped us a little bit to get out. But we today, we couldn't help them because it was on the fall, right? If we stop, we can't stop there. So we just decided to go, and maybe we can put back the time that they beat us yesterday.
Belize Bank's Armando Lopez elaborates.
Have any accident, big falls, we catch water and we sink. And that when Nitch gone and we struck. Then that when I open the gap. 2 days still left and the race, and we try just stay together, and if we could just go to the sprint.
Henna Cruz of West Track is cerebral about their second place finish in this stage.
It was just a lucky race today because Zip Rider and Belize Bank, they capsized, so we did take the second place lead. We have an experienced guy in our canoe, that is Irvin, that he paddled with Belize Bank already, and he knows where the pass is, and that's why we take the advantage of not capsizing in the current.
Day 3 finds us at Doublehead for the 36-mile journey to Borel Boom. The field is now down to 58 vessels after having covered 109 miles in the previous 2 stages. Today's leg is crucial to the hopes and dreams of the players looking for the overall win. Besides, the final stage from Borel Boom to Belize is a mere 25 miles. The Belize Bank comes in with a 1-second lead over Niche and almost a minute and a half over Zip Rider. For a second day in a row, the 2013 Belekin La Ruta Maya gets off with a clean start. Even the newcomers in the rear of the start manage to overcome the problems that do surface. Before we head off to join the race, we introduce you to Dorette Martinez, a member of the gold medal softball team that beat the United States 2-1 at the 7th Pan American Games at Puerto Rico in 1979. And guess what? Dorette Martinez was born in this very village and she loves La Ruta Maya.
Well, this is very magnificent. I look at it on the internet and it's more exciting being here. So, but to witness something like this, it brings back a lot of my culture, because back in the days, this was like the arena, you know, where everything happened on the banks of this Belize River. And this is so beautiful. It brings back a lot of memories. Well, I started playing rural Belize softball back in the 70s, and then I went to Belize City to go to college. And quickly we transferred right into women's softball, you know, the national team. I played for under Raymond Lashley as local and also international. And as far as international, we gained a lot of acclaims by first we had the cast tournaments that came to Belize or Jamaica and Bermuda. And in that tournament, I was the most valuable player with most base run, most runs scored, things like that. And then as my career developed, we traveled to other countries, so Mexico, El Salvador, Panama, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico. And one of our greatest achievements was when we won that, when we defeated the United States of America. I'm a Riverbank girl. I'm a Belize River Valley girl.
Okay.
Yes, right on these banks. I went to school right there in the little college, little school right there.
That little building over
there? That
there?
little building was where the school is, where I went to school.
Speaking of the Maya, she had this to say.
When you look at one of the maps that they have now with all these temples all across this region, it is just stunning to wonder what happened to these people and why they moved.
Another intriguing personality we met on our way out of Doublehead is Major Thomas Call of the Belize Defense Force. The BDF has taken over the statistical unit for La Ruta from the British, and this descendant of the Maya is in charge.
We've worked with the British before for so many years since we've been here. And this is not new for us. So again, once again, take over some of the roles that they've been doing. For example, if you could recall in history, they were the first here to sort of do the defense, the patrol along the borders and so forth, and we were just liaison officers with them. And then eventually we transitioned into forming the Belize Defense Force unit.
Right.
And so, again, likewise for the La Ruta Maya, they were the first ones to come along on board with them in terms of being the statisticians, the timekeepers, and the station price keepers, and also with the safety and so forth. But because I'm sure, and I can't speak on behalf of PATSOB or the British, but what I know of is that I think they've recently transitioned back elsewhere, and I think because of the challenges and the strength that they have in Belize right now, I think they have it a bit in terms of trying to fit everywhere, and so in terms of support to every organizations that are in Belize. And so for us, it was good. I think we agreed and we said yes, we're willing to take up the support in terms of the La Ruta Maya, the full responsibility when it comes to timekeeping and station price recording. And so last year we were with PATSOB as an observer and working along with them. This year is the first year where the Belize Defense Force has fully taken over full responsibility. In terms of the environment, you know, when families go around from point to point B, they should be cognizant of the fact that, you know, we support, you know, a health and safe environment. So when they move around, they should take all their stuff, you know, and so not leaving anything behind.
No pollution.
No pollution whatsoever, you know. Clean water. You know, in Belize we have the most beautiful waters within the region.
And the riparian forest.
Exactly. And you probably heard the Howler monkeys.
Speaking of the environment, we salute the University of Belize students for volunteering to clean up after the La Ruta Maya. A big thank you to UB from the country. We stop at Belize Bank for our first view of the race in stage 3. And as we wait, we are entertained by this family of howler monkeys. And Major Cal, you certainly know what you were talking about. One of the younger monkeys is even brave enough to climb down and say hello to a crowd of excited spectators. Folks, we do live in a blessed country. But back to the event. The front-runner Belize Bank remains in control of the pace when they grab the station prize at Belize Bank. It provides us with a sense of irony, don't it? Zip Rider follows the leaders. They hang on to the 3rd place while Niche brings up the rear in this 4-boat lead. Nations of the intramural class continue to impress, looking as if they could even challenge the elite of the field and are in 5th place at Belize Bank. Our next stop is Flowers Bank. And this monument reminds us that in 1797, these 14 heroes of the riverbank voted to fight and not run in the face of a Spanish invasion from Yucatan. It reminds us that this generation must likewise stand up against any who would dare claim our homeland. Inside the waters, the lead 4 remains intact with Zip Rider stepping out to claim the station prize. Nations continues to put distance between themselves and any challenger inside the intramural class. BTL Cubs Arms continue to struggle well off the pace in the male class. LTHS Sprouts quickly take on supplies as they continue to chase Nations. Coast Guardian is still in control of the mixed class. Oceana Wave Makers increases its lead in the Masters category. The UB Lady Jaguars are trying to make a run in the female class at Flowers Bank. Chukachilla, in its first appearance in La Ruta Maya, now knows what they are up against in the male class. Grumpy Old Men find themselves at 3rd place in the Masters category at this juncture. Police Crime Fighters remain the boat to beat in the pleasure class. So we sojourn to Henderson Bank at Burrell Boom for the big finish to this 36-mile stage where an extremely large crowd congregates in a party atmosphere. There's people from every corner of the country and are unable to conceal their excitement and their impatience. You see, there's a strong breeze blowing on the river that increases the degree of difficulty for the paddlers who are now some 20 minutes off last year's pace. Suddenly, without warning, 3 vessels hug the curve to the finish line. Again, it's the Belize Bank Bulldogs with the lead as they power in to claim stage 3 in a time of 4 hours, 45 minutes, 4 seconds. Niche, who came in 2 seconds off the pace, now find themselves 5 seconds behind the bank after 3 stages, while Zip Rider now faces an impossible task to claim another La Ruta Maya after losing another 10 seconds to Belize Bank. Today was do or die for them, and they didn't. Westrock also accepts the fact that they will not be in the winner's circle tomorrow at Belekin Bridge after conceding another 55 seconds to the leader. BTL Cubs Arms loses another 2 minutes during this leg. Jerry Rayburn of Zip Rider tried to put on a brave face under the circumstances.
I'm still Jerry Rayburn. You never know what's going to happen.
So, what would you say is the cause of your demise at this point?
Well, you know, we had a little accident yesterday. We flipped yesterday. We capsized yesterday. And, you know, I think that's what have us behind right now.
The final stage is now upon us. We're at Henderson Bank on this 11th day of March 2013 inside Burrell Boom, where the race leaves for the 25-mile journey to the Belekin Bridge in Belize City. The bank goes in with a 6-second lead over Niche and could secure the overall win by just hanging around. However, let's meet Celtic Kawich of UB Black Jaguars, who are competing in the tough intramural class.
Just before Flowers Bank, one of our paddlers started to get blisters on his hand and he couldn't continue any longer. And then at Flowers Bank, another of the paddlers started to pull a muscle from his arm. So the guy had to come out. He was tended to by the guys from the rescue team, and it was left up to me to bring in the canoe. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I just paddled and paddled. I didn't know the distance that I had to travel, but eventually I made it. I mean, guys kept passing me by, I was leaving some guys behind, but I think that kept them motivated to continue coming.
Like how you had to do it, you have an idea how many miles afterwards?
No idea.
Up to now.
Like I tell a lot of guys, I just kept on paddling and paddling.
So I understand it was from Flowers Bank to Boom?
Yes.
How difficult was this feat?
Ooh, very, very. I think that maybe the last 2 kilometers was the hardest, because what fooled me was the sound of the music. I started hearing from a long distance, and I said, I'm here, and I banged a curve, and I wasn't here. I banged another curve, and I wasn't here. And that's when a lot of the canoes started passing me by, but eventually I pulled the last curve and I knew I made it.
I know this question was so ridiculous, but did you pass anybody?
Yes, actually I did.
Okay.
I did. I don't know what the name of the team is, but I passed an old guy and 2 youths, and I felt good.
Thanks to Celsius Kawichi's heroic effort, UB Jaguars are able to compete this morning. Meanwhile, we kept being amused by this strange ability that Biggs Harris has. You judge it for yourself. Hey man, we're glad you follow the La Ruta every year, okay? So here is the final start in the 16th edition of La Ruta Maya, and it's a sight that could stay with you for a truly long time. At the Boom Bridge, Belize Bank Bulldogs have already established a quick lead, followed by Westtrack, Niche, and Zip Rider. Nations and LTH Sprouts continue their rivalry as Oceana Wave makers get their stroke going. Coast Guardian makes its appearance. UB Black Jaguars seem intent in keeping hope that maybe they can still compete in the intramural class. San Isidro Warriors seem to be working on experience in this leg. Further back, we find the female leaders vicious, ambitious, and delicious, and no, we don't know who's who. And here are their challenger, UB Lady Black Jaguars. Of course, you remember the double spill at the start of this race? Well, meet the Garobo Chasers, and yes, they would complete the entire event, people. At Large Bank, we find the usual suspects in the lead, but we want to focus on those who have had no mention, like Whatever Boy. At Manatee Point, we are treated to an unexpected wildlife adventure, at least not in the Belize Old River, as this dolphin volunteers to be a tourist guide for the front runners. Okay, the heat is on now, as we are only 5 miles away from the finish line when the race passes Hallover Bridge. The 4-boat lead remains intact with Belize Bank on the pace. Zip Rider tries to make a move, but the other competitors are not about to let that happen. The finish is finally in sight, and people are lined up everywhere in the vicinity. Niche now starts the sprint for the stage win at Belekin Bridge. Both Belize Bank and Zip Rider respond ferociously. The bank seems to be gaining on the outside, but Niche holds them off. Zip Rider on the other side launches its own attack, and probably motivated by hoping to snatch something out of the event, finds power from somewhere to overtake Niche in the last 10 yards to grab the stage win in 2 hours, 42 minutes, 24 seconds, beating Niche by 1 second and Belize Bank by 3 seconds. Westtrack settles for 4th in 2:44.12, and BTL Cub Arm rounds out the top 5 in the final stage. Nevertheless, the overall win goes to Belize Bank Bulldogs featuring Armando Lopez, and Daniel Cruz. It was never in doubt with a total time of 18 hours, 31 minutes, 21 seconds. Niche takes up 2nd place, 3 seconds behind the 2013 champion, and Zip Rider takes 3rd with a time of 18 hours, 32 minutes, 10 seconds. Westtrack is 4th with 18:38.32, and BTL Cubs Arm rounds out the top 5 in 18 hours, 39 minutes, 25 seconds for the 170 miles of paddling inside the Belize Old River. Armin Lopez wins his 9th La Ruta Maya title today, and he is very deep in his post-race interview.
First of all, I want to give thanks to God. I said I was going to praise him, and I said once again, I said, Lord, lose or win, I will praise your name. I said I was going to say we need to work for our salvation. He's soon to come. But
I agree with you on that.
But I'm happy with my teammates and everybody, the fans, Belize Bank and everybody.
But you see, for the young people looking at home and to see the dominance you have established, they want to know how they could emulate what you have done. Tell them about the hard work, the mental discipline, the trials and tribulations you must endure to become the champion you have become.
Well, the first thing, you put God first, and you do your part. He said you should help yourself, and he will help you, So you train hard, you swim, you run, you take care of yourself. You can't be bleaching out, you can't drink, for 3 months. You got to slow down, discipline, definitely. You got to be humble. I know sometimes we get mad because the other guys beat us, but then, eventually, I raised a lot of ears, and then I said, well, God talked to my mind and said, he's my son too, he deserved to win, so that's the way I see it.
Coming into this final leg, you were watching the trial and the niche team very closely.
Definitely, because I know the niche team, a powerful team, they are my cousin and my friend in the middle. This is the guy right here, Oscar Portillo. Yes. He's really getting good. I'm proud of him. He really proved to me that he's tough enough, he's good. And I know that, but I want him to find out himself that he's good, And with the Cruz brothers, definitely, and Zip Riders, definitely. Jerry Rayburn, one of the best paddlers in Belize. With those youths, I'm surprised, and I'm happy that those guys are doing real good with Jerry Rayburn. Amado, my brother, he's younger than me, but he's really strong, and those guys are very humble.